This is American Ground Radio's 4th of July special, What Makes America Great? I'm Stephen Parr, here with Louis Czar Avalone.
Happy 4th of July to you, Stephen.
You know, there is nothing I like doing on the 4th of July more than listening to other Americans tell me what it is they love about this country. It's just something about the way, like when you go to someone's birthday party and you meet some other people new at that birthday party, right? And you're like, well, how do you know so-and-so? Oh, well, you know, Louis and I go way back. You'll never believe what he did for me. He's such a nice guy. Don't you like hearing that about your friends, about how other people think they're nice people?
You would say that about me?
What? No,
seriously?
Someone else said that about you.
Okay. I was gonna say.
But don't you like hearing how other people say nice things about people that you like?
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's the same way with the country. I love hearing people talk about how much they love this country because I love this country too.
Right. And, you know, patriotism is just, as we've said before, it's just so much more than where you were born.
Right.
That's geography. I think patriotism is about unconditional love and devotion to your country. And there's so many people I think get confused with that. They think they're going to be patriotic like Michelle Obama. For the first time in my life, I'm proud of America. That's not patriotism. No, it's not at all.
Or they think that, you know, I can't be patriotic because, you know, America's done bad things in the past. There's a difference between saying America is great and saying America is perfect. America's not perfect. America never will be perfect because it's made up of people, and people are imperfect.
That's why we're celebrating that America was founded upon an idea that all men are created equal.
Exactly. And this next guest, we're going to be talking with Wesley Hunt. Now, I've known Wesley for a while now, and while he's not, you know, a household name across the country, I think he will be. He's certainly a
West Point grad.
He's got the host of the podcast In the Hunt. He's run for political office.
He ran for Congress.
Yeah,
out of a Houston suburb there,
and he's been on Fox News lots and lots of times. But the thing is, I just love how much his family loves this country. It's basically everybody in this family has served this country in uniform.
And it's a personal story. It's a personal story that will inspire you.
And that's why our next guest on American Ground Radio's 4th of July special is Wesley Hunt.
America,
and joining us now on the phone, Wesley Hunt, a good friend of ours and one of the co-hosts of the podcast In the Hunt. Wesley, welcome to American Ground Radio's 4th of July special, What Makes America Great?
Oh, my goodness. First of all, thank you all for having me on. I really appreciate it. And again, you know, that's the question right now that's on the tip of everyone's tongue is what makes America great, because you're seeing a lot of backlash, you're seeing a lot of negativity about this country, but it is hands down the greatest country in the world we're currently living in the greatest time in the greatest country in the world. And to answer your question directly, what makes it great are literally the brave men and women that have fought and died for our freedoms, fought for our right to wake up in the morning and put our feet on solid American soil and breathe free American air. And we are the only country in the world that has done this for centuries. And it is my opinion that we will continue to be great because people will continue to make those sacrifices for us and our posterity.
Well, speaking of sacrifice, man, you come from a family of it. Your father was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. Mm-hmm. You went to West Point. Your brother went to West Point. And your sister went to West Point.
Oh, my goodness.
Wesley, in the history of that institution, has there ever been 3 siblings who graduated from West Point before, or did you guys make American history?
I think it's happened a few times before, but here's where I think we've made history. At one point, my sister was a math instructor at West Point while my brother and I were cadets. Now, I think that's a first. Now they wouldn't let us have her as our instructor because I think it would have been an easy A for us. Don't tell her I said that. But I think that's the first. But there's about 60 years worth of military service, 60 years worth of military service just in my immediate family. And I tell that because we aren't special. As you know, in your family, sir, many of us have served and many of us continue to serve. And that's just what makes this place so unique, are people that are willing to sacrifice their lives and their families and spend time away from their families in a foreign land to do our country's biddings. There's no other place in the world that's like that.
Well, very few of us have been a combat attack helicopter pilot in serving our country. So with all due respect, I think your family is very special. Obviously, you love this country.
Yeah.
Do you remember when it was that you realized that this country was something special, that was exceptional?
So I remember being young and probably like 7 years old when I first took that drive up to West Point to drop off my sister for our day at West Point, which is kind of the first day before they have the West Point basic training, that first summer before you go into your plebe year. And so my parents got us ran a van, and they drove us from Houston, Texas, all the way up to New York. And we made some stops along the way. And to see the topography change, to see the cities change, the people, the food, and that drive at 7 years old really told me something about this place that we live in and its diversity and who we are, and our differences always make us better. And to go up to West Point, to see the cadets, to see the families, to see the people that were sacrificing and going to be the future brothers and sisters and leaders of this country, I think at 7 years old is when it really hit me that we have something different here.
You know, and I hesitate to bring it up. You're a black conservative. Does it disappoint you to see how other black Americans ostracize or otherwise criticize? How do you respond to those critics that say, you know, as a black conservative, that you are a sellout? You're betraying your people.
Easily. And by the way, you should never cower or never go away from asking that question to people like me, because we love that question. Because if we don't talk about it, then nobody learns from it. And what I always tell people is this: conservative values are actually a part of the black community. The black community is one of the most conservative groups that we've ever seen in the history of this country, even right now. It's an education issue. What people don't understand is that we are not really divided by race anymore. We are divided by economic opportunity. We are divided by allowing people to make their own decisions. We are different because we are all free. It has nothing to do with the way we look. And the Democrat Party, since welfare and since the civil rights movement, has been playing on our race and not playing on our prosperity and what we can be. If you look at congressional districts throughout this country and even blue states, if you've noticed for the last 30 years, the black community has not progressed. Why? Because the Democrat Party doesn't want them to. So what I want to do is talk about how our party and how conservative values in making good decisions and having the freedoms to make good decisions, having the freedom of not paying too much in taxes, having the freedom of not having big government constantly looming over our lives and telling us what to do. That's actually conservative values that are far more beneficial to the black community than what the left is pitching.
Wesley, you and your brother have started a podcast, In the Hunt. You can get it on Spotify. I've seen it I've watched it on Facebook. Why'd you guys start doing that, and what's that all about, and how can people listen?
Great question. So we started to do this because of the question that you just asked. What's it like to be an under 40 black conservative that's kind of seen all parts of the world and all ways of life, with good education, great parents, the best parents, a good background, grew up in the church? How can we get our message and explain in depth what it means to be a black conservative? And a lot of times everybody wants to just take, a real hot button issue or a hot take or just a quick tweet, that doesn't necessarily explain why we feel the way we feel. We wanted to take the opportunity to take this in long form so that we can explain our background, explain why we think the way we think. Instead of having people ask us constantly, how could you be a black Republican? We want people to ask us, why are you a black Republican?
All right.
And I think when you hear our answer, you may not agree with us, but you'll respect it.
I certainly.
That's awesome, by the way.
That's
just awesome.
And Wesley, as you know, I certainly do respect you and your whole family. His whole family's great. You've got to meet them sometime. Just
I would
lovely
to.
people. Thank you so much for joining us here on American Ground Radio. And folks, definitely tune in. Search out that podcast on Spotify, In the Hunt. Wesley Hunt, happy 4th of July.
God bless you all. Happy 4th of July. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you.